What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Arc mod. So the really random question of the day is, would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? Now, I know that's really super random, but I really want to hear your responses to this one, guys, so leave a comment right down there in the box below. Personally, I'm going to choose the duck-sized horses because, honestly, you could just kick the damn thing. So that's my response. I want to hear from you guys. Just leave a comment right down there in the box below. All right, so today we're going to be taking a look at the Arc 240 by United Society of Vape. This one was kindly given to me by my friends over at Vapor Stockroom, with a big shout out and thank you going their way for allowing me to take a look at this device for the purpose of making this video. I had a blast testing this thing out ever since Vape Showcase in St. Louis, and I gotta say, this is one of the sleekest, most stylish mods I've ever used. So taking a quick look online, this device comes in 4 different color options. You have a full black version, a black and red version like I have right here. You have a full blue version and a white and red version as well. So with that, it's gonna set you back about 80 bucks, which is kind of the vape shop price, kind of the average price for a dual 18650 mod at a vape shop. Online, it is a little bit on the pricier side, but hey, you know what? It is a very nice, sweet looking, classy mod. And if you want to grab one for yourself, I'll leave a link right down there in the description below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got the Arc mod in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging, and then we'll take a look at what's inside. So first and foremost, super ridiculously classy packaging here, guys. Just plain matte black with a gloss black stripe going across the middle, an embossed Arc mod logo right there, which is really, really nice. Nothing on the sides or the top or the bottom or anything like that, just on the back, a few little words here. We have a little bit about the device itself written up in a paragraph kind of thing going on right there, what the package contains, a little bit of company information, some warnings, color indications, serial number, that kind of thing. And let's take a look at what's inside here. Let's open up this box. Oop, there we go. We have our Arc mod itself. Comes in this little plastic baggie there. There we go. We have an Arc mod. We have the USV die. It actually comes with a fully functioning die. Not joking. This is real. This really comes in the box. It actually comes with a die. Pretty neat. Then we have our little package right here. Let's take a look. I'm guessing USB cable. Oh, and I'm right. Kind of cheesy feeling. It's a flat USB cable, but it does feel really cheesy, especially compared to some of the other ones that I've been seeing recently. So, they cheaped out a little bit on the USB cable. Not a big deal. We have a tiny little fold-out manual. Really not much information here, and I'm not even going to mark points off for it being fold-out because it's just a little tiny thing like that. So, -1 point. How about that? Then we have a nice little classy card here as well. This is kind of just a little warranty information card right there. A spot gloss on that side with the Arc mod logo, and then your words on the other side right there. Alright guys, let's talk about the specs. First of all, it takes 2 high-amp 18650 batteries. It's made of a lightweight ABS construction, 32-bit ARM processor with a 0.91-inch color display. The wattage output is 5 to 240 watts. Power profiles include normal, eco, and sports. Temp control is 200 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit with nickel, titanium, and stainless steel 316 supported. Bypass mode provides maximum current output. Resistance supported is 0.1 ohms to 2 ohms. Input voltage is 6.4 to 8.4 volts, and output voltage is 3.0 to 8.4 volts. Alright guys, let's go over the basics of the Arc mod, starting off with how to put the batteries in. Just undo the latch like that. You can probably see the bottom of the tube marked positive and negative, so it's easy to find out which way your batteries go in, just like that and like that. Close it up real quick. On the opposite side, we have our little VO splash screen, and we're ready to vape already. So every time you put your batteries in, it does reset the wattage down to 5 watts, which kind of sucks, but it's easy to turn it up pretty quickly. Just hold down this button right here, and yes, the power buttons are reversed. So this button here is your power up, and this button here is your power down. So kind of backwards to the normal way of thinking, but it does take a couple days to get used to. So one cool thing about the USV Arc is that the color changes on the wattage setting the higher you go up. So it starts off this dark blue, then it moves on to a lighter blue there, and then you go up a little bit more and it goes to green, then it goes to yellow at 100 plus, and it goes to a kind of orangish color right about there. And then your super high wattages is red. So pretty neat that it changes color, and it's very easy to tell what wattage setting you're set to just by taking a quick look at the screen there. Now, if you want to change this to temp control, all you have to do is click the fire button 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, changes over to temp control. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, changes to bypass mode, and then 1, 2, 3. Sets it to power mode. So right there, you can have your 3 different settings just like that. Pretty easy. If you click and hold the power up and power down button, it changes the actual function. So it goes from normal to eco mode or eco mode, and then sports mode. I'm assuming eco mode is like a soft mode, kind of like a lower power setting, and then sports mode is your higher power setting. So there you go. Pretty easy controls there. You have your USB port for firmware updating right there, and your 510 right there at the top. Really nothing much else to talk about with this guy here. It's just a pretty plain and simple down and dirty mod. You have your button right there on the back side. That's what you click and hold to fire this thing. And that's about it. That's really all you have to know about the Arc mod for your basics. So that's about all I've got for you guys in this little up close portion. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting it off today with the pros, and my first pro is that this thing feels amazing in your hand. It has one of the best hand feels out of any mod that I own, and I gotta say, didn't think I could get used to it at first just because of the overall size and shape of this thing, but with the little kind of curved arch on the outer side there, it just kind of wraps your fingers around just like that, and the button itself is rubberized as well as this whole black section there as well, so it feels really amazing in the hand. I love the little brushed aluminum parts as well, and I think it was a great decision on their part to actually rubberize the button just because you can grip onto it that much easier. Plus you just support it with your pinky right there at the bottom, and it just kind of feels super duper natural. So definitely one of the nicest feeling mods I've ever used. My second pro for this one is that it's clean, sleek, and stylish. Bottom line here is classy. This thing just reeks of class. Very simple design, nothing too flashy or over the top here. Very simple little stripe going all the way around the whole thing with the simple little round buttons here and just a little square screen. Very simple, very classy. Overall, really happy with it. And for my third and final pro for this device, the screen is very easy to read. I love the fact that it has a dual battery readout. It's not over cluttered or anything like that. It has just your necessary information on there. At the lower wattages, it has kind of these softer colors like the blues and stuff like that. Then you kind of get into the greens and then the yellows and the oranges and then finally the red. So if your wattage is way up there, cranked all the way up to 240, it's going to be bright red. Very easy to tell what wattage setting you're at just by kind of quickly visually looking at it without even having to read the numbers. Alright guys, so moving on to the cons, my first con is that this thing has a few sharp edges on it. Now you really got to be careful on this little back section here where the button sits, because this top and bottom part right there that stick out ever so slightly are not beveled and they are very sharp. Now I have heard that they fix this issue with the newer versions of this device, but if you would decide to buy one of these for yourself and you get one of the older ones, it's going to have these sharp edges on here and you could potentially hurt yourself. So you got to be really careful with this one here. Try to avoid kind of scraping your fingers across there, and I hope you guys get one of the newer stock if you do decide to pick one of these up for yourself. My second con for this device is that it doesn't hold your wattage when you change your batteries. That is something that is so simple, that is on every single other mod out there on the market, and it's just completely inexcusable that this device does not have that. My third con for this one, like you guys saw in the close-up view, the up and down power buttons are reversed. They're flip-flopped, they're backwards, they're unnatural. The power up button is on the left and the power down button is on the right, and it just doesn't make sense to me why they did that. It could easily be fixable, and I hope they fix that in a later version of this device. And my fourth con for this one is that my resistance tends to be a little bit inaccurate with this one here compared to other mods that I own, and in turn it kind of makes it feel underpowered. So unfortunately, it just feels like I'm not vaping at the full wattage. Like right now I have it set to 114 watts and it feels like I'm vaping somewhere in the 80s. So I really wish they would just update the firmware for this one here, because that could easily be fixable. Speaking of firmware, my fifth con is that the battery readout isn't very accurate either. Now, I just put these batteries batteries in not that long ago, and already they're reading at half. Now, I'm really not sure why, because I know for a fact that I can get at least half a day out of a fully charged set of batteries at 100 watts. Now, with this one here, I just put them in about half an hour ago, and already they're reading half battery life. Now, I'm really not sure what's going on with that. Again, I feel like that's a firmware issue. Again, I hope they update it. For my sixth con, the power up and down seems to go a little bit quick. Now, I know this is nitpicky, but it just jumps a couple watts at a time, and I just feel like I'm gonna miss the power level that I'm really looking for. I'm gonna have to kind of hunt and peck for it, just kind of go up and down 1 watt at a time until I get to my desired power level. I know, again, this is nitpicky, but it's just something I should mention just because I've had a frustrating time with this mod, and that is definitely one of the things that really bugs me. For my seventh con, the 240 watts of power that this thing claims it can put out is absolute crap. Honestly, you can't put out more than 166 watts with two 18650 batteries, and I just really wish all companies across the board would stop claiming 200 watts. It's just not going to happen. You are either stretching those watts out or you're doing some sort of pulse measurement system or something like that, but 240 watts of power on two 18650s is just not going to happen. And for my eighth and final con, you actually have to wake this device up by clicking the fire button when the screen is off before you can take a vape on it. I cannot tell you how many times I've just gone to take a vape on this thing and nothing comes out. So that is something that's really annoying, and it could be fixed with firmware. So bottom line here, through all of these cons, this thing badly needs a firmware update. Now, I've heard that they did update the firmware for the latest versions, but again, you're going to have these older stock units floating around on the market that do not have the newer firmware, and unfortunately, you're going to have people that are really, really frustrated like I am now. So at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for review? And I'm going to say no to this one. Honestly, this one is not worth it with all the problems that I just listed there. However, if they fix each and every one of those issues that I just mentioned, I would absolutely, hands down, go out of my way, purchase one with my own money, no questions asked. Honestly, I like this system here. I want to like this mod, but with all of the issues that it has currently, I'm going to have to say no. So if you guys want to grab one of these things, knowing that the newer versions have beveled edges and updated firmware, then I'll leave a link right down there in the description below of where you can find them. But that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts all about the USV ARC mod or anything else you guys want to discuss down there. Check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the description below. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, it's just at DailyVapeTV. Make sure you check me out on there as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on. God damn it.